כל השונה הלכות בכל יום, הובטחו, שרו בין הערבות. The two mitzvot of the day, Bezrat Hashem, we have, today is, by the way, the 13th of Mar Cheshvan. And Bezrat Hashem, the sponsorship of this Shurim is going to be in Nishmat, Yecheskel, Netanel, Ben Arab, Avishai Halevi, Shlita, Bezrat Hashem, Fuah Shlema, Lekol Am Yisrael, U'B'Chalam, Lechaya Bat Leah. If you wish to sponsor, you know how to reach out. So the mitzvah number 73, as we said, this is the mitzvah that everybody follows, Baruch Hashem, Shelo Lechol Trefa. None of the Jewish people, Baruch Hashem, in the world eat trefa. Mitzvah number 74. Unfortunately, that's something we need to work on. Unfortunately, in this world, everybody likes to listen to the other person without the other person's claim. So the judge is not allowed to listen to a litigant's claims against the other unless the other litigant is present. And we are unfortunately failing this mitzvah because we are the judges of our children's arguments. And when our children argue, we tend to listen to the one that pleads more, cries more. We believe him more than the other, or even before even hearing the other. So hopefully, this is what we're gonna hopefully stop that, and we're gonna implement in our beings that when we hear a case brought before us, when the children especially give us a claim, the rule is I don't react until A, I see it on my own, right, and B, until I hear the other side. Mitzvah number 73. Shelo lechol terefa. This is the beautiful mitzvah, 73. HaKadosh Baruch Hu forbids us to eating mina terefa. Shneimar, it says over there in Shmot, 22nd chapter, pasuk lamed, 30th pasuk. Ubasar besadeh terefa lo tochlu. A meat which is in the field, terefa lo tochlu. What does that mean? What's going on? Terefa, what does that mean? Umashmaut hanigla bekatuv zeh. What is this revealing to us in this pasuk? So what does that mean? Terefa in the field you should not eat. You just heard me earlier say that it's talking about what? A shchita. Terefa is only shchita. Terefa is not an animal who you found dead in the street. We'll see. So we have terefa. What is terefa? The rabbis told us it's when a wolf or a lion attacked a sheep in the field. That's what it means. The pasuk says it was terefa besadeh. The animal before you came to shecht it was attacked by an animal, wild beasts, like a lion or like a zev, wolf, tiger. Yeah, well, kosher animals, the one that you do shechita. You only do shechita on a kosher animal. What about eagles? Sometimes eagles do damaging, but it has to be. So we'll see what it means. B'shetrefa be'inyan shehi netuya lamud b'teref hahu. Terefa means that we'll see that it's tilting. It is visible that it's going to die from that damage that it incurred in the field. Okay. No, it's still alive, but that's what you did shchita, obviously alive. Devadai and b'mashma she'in naga b'rosh ha'oznah o talaja metzamer shetikra terefa b'kach. So let's say a lion ripped off the tail of a cow. That doesn't make it terefa yet. It's not a. This is not even though the halacha of terefot and shchita, the law of shchita, we learn from korbanot. So that's why the rabbis bring you down. What's the point of korbanot? Ram, take pictures also. We need to post pictures. Okay. What? Yeshiva Shalom Bayit. Yeshiva Chan. Take the pictures, please. Yeah. Anyway, so we're on YouTube. It's a big Kabal Gavza. What do you want to do? It's part of nature. Anyway, Gava is part of nature, unfortunately. So we have over here, right? So he says that the whole concept of shchita we learn from where? Korbanot. So a person might make a big mistake. So he would say, just like korban cannot have any blemish, right? So maybe too, when you do shchita, an animal that you want to eat should not have any blemish. No, not necessarily. The only time that we are concerned about blemish, only a blemish that will let it die within a certain period. Like Chacham Markel over here said, within 12 months. Beautiful. That's not half, right? אלא ודאי שהמשמעות, כן, שנטרפה בכדי שתמות לשעה או לזמן קרוב בשביל הטרף ההוא. So what is that zman? What is that period that we said that has to suffer and die within that zman? Over there it's in Chulin, Daf Nun Zayin, 57 page, and that's עמוד ב', שזמן זה הוא שנה אחת. It's talking about specifically 12-month period that animal will become or will die on its own because of those sustained damages that it incurred in the field from wild beasts. Or even, let's say, they had a fight. Sometimes you have bulls, they fight, right? Even themselves, the damage. If that damage, let's say, punctured a heart, punctured a lung, so there's a lot of halachot involved in הלכות טרפה. ועוד יש להבין, לכל מבין, כי לא תקפיד התורה כשהגיע לו לטרפות זו על ידי זאב או אריה או דוב, אלא שתאסור כל בהמה המוכה מכה המביאה אותה לידי המוות על כל פנים. So like I said, not necessarily a wild beast attacked it, as we just said. Even let's say he fell in, right? He fell into a pit. He fell into a pit. In the olden days, was common. People would open the pit to trap, let's say, a tiger, like a wild animal tracking your sheep. So you want to make sure to attack that, capture that animal, and in the meantime you damage your own animal. So if your animal fell into that hole and it damaged itself, that damage will not, if it's not going to live from that damage within 12 months, you're not allowed to eat from that damage. It's called terefa when you shechter, and you found that it's damaged now, really. The Torah tells us all this, all the makot as we discussed. Let's see. Shoresh mitzvah. We're just going to quickly skip because Hashem is going into different scenarios, different fields, different options over there, or discussion how it's the trefa. But we already understand in any significance that causes it to die within 12 months, that would be the isur. Mishorshe mitzvah zu. What is the reason? According to what's the foundation of this mitzvah? Lefisha guf kli lenefesh ubo ta'aseh p'olata. So the point of staying away from trefa, for we know that that we have a body, and the main machinery, the main reason of your body is obviously the nefesh, the neshama, the soul that runs your body. V'zolato lo teshalem malchota leolam. So your what's that? Valken ba betzilo velo lera'ata. So therefore, you have a neshama, and we know that neshama has to stay pure, and you are prohibited for doing anything to destroy the neshama. Forget about your body for a second. Obviously, you're eating a beautiful steak now, so we're not concerned about your health physically. We're now talking about spirituality. It's all about spirituality. Terefa, it sounds very bad. The animal, even let's say a lion took off its heart. But right now, you have a steak in front of you, a delicious steak, not a problem. It's not poison. Just because a lion, I saw somebody in the National Geographics how in the tribes in Africa, they cannot fight a buffalo. Those skinny guys, they hardly move. What are they going to fight a buffalo? The buffalo is going to throw the guys around. So what they do? Amazing. They wait for the lion to attack the buffalo, to kill the buffalo, and then they take a stick, just a little stick, and they run towards the lion. They make noise. The lion runs away from the buffalo. This guy comes, the three skinny guys were Africans. They come to the buffalo, they shecht off the meat, take a big, nice chunk, and they go. While the lions are looking, what are they doing? After they leave, the lions come back and eat. You hear what's going on here? So the real steak, is nothing wrong with the steak. A piece of meat, or just because a lion bit off of it, so you wash off. You don't eat what he ate with his rabies and all those things. The other parts. So really, in front of you, the steak is delicious. You have a beautiful, delicious steak. It will cost you $45 in some restaurants, or maybe even $75, whatever it is. Still, that's not the problem. The problem is באמת כי האל לא יראה אבל יטיב לכל. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling us, you have a neshama, and neshama is malchut. So you have to preserve it. You have to preserve your neshama that makes your body run. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, don't make it impure. נמצא כי הגוף בין ידיע כמו הצוואר ביד הנפח אשר עמו יוציא כל כלי למעשהו. So again, so your body is here to function in a certain aspects that you're supposed to perform, the mitzvot and everything is, but again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to sustain the neshama within your body, which is running the whole show. ובאמת כי בהיות הזקן ומגרל לאחוז בו הכלים יעשה מהאומן בטובים. So obviously, just like what do they call them? Not locksmith. goldsmith, right? He's working and he's making sure that all his tools are preserved and everything is properly, so he could work with his equipment. So too, Hakadosh Baruch Hu commanded us that we should be working with our equipment, which is the neshama is using the body, and therefore the body has to protect the neshama. So you have a physical aspect which has to protect your spirituality, and that is by preventing from ocher tameh, this trifa, which was not done b'kedusha, even though it is done b'kedusha, you did shchita and you did everything, but still, since it was not fitting to be in an aspect of not being pagum, not being damaged, so prevent your neshama from being damaged. Don't eat the terefot, which will chas v'shalom cause your neshama to be impure. The next mitzvah is, again, we already discussed. There's a lot of laws involved how to perform this mitzvah. There's a whole masechta, beautiful masechta cholin. Bezat Hashem, one day Yeshivat Shalom Bayit over here will reach that level to go and grow ourselves in the masechta cholin. It's such a beautiful masechta. They say Chazon Ish, by the way, Chazon Ish, when he had a problem, he has a brain aneurysm. He had a problem in his brain that the doctor said if he doesn't have the surgery, he's going to die. Aneurysm, brain aneurysm. So the Chacham never went to college in his life. This is talking about Chazon Ish. We're not talking about Rambam 800 years, 900 years ago, where we had purity of neshamot and everybody knew a lot of information. We're talking about Sahakol 80 years ago. 80 years ago, in 1950s, 60s, Chazon Ish needed a brain surgery. What happened? He told the brain, and he never went to college in his life. He himself needed a brain surgery. So he found the best professor. Is halacha. There is no such a law in the Torah. Don't listen to anybody with a beard, no matter how big it is or how short it is. There is no halacha to listen to a doctor. There is no such a thing. Doctor is only when you're sick. When you're sick and you have no choice, and you do a lot of checking at the doctor. He's not a faker, and you know that he's a true person, honest person. Doesn't matter if he's religious. Only then, after his opinion, a second opinion, and many times Rav Moshe Paskin, a third opinion. Only then you could listen to a doctor. Not like today, frivolosity. The people with beards, and just because they teach, they could say doctor is the law. No, it's not. Chas v'shalom. It's not true. Doctors don't know nothing. They are not permission. They're only given permission to heal. Only, that means when you're sick. You can't go to a doctor and trust him and say, well, doctor has to heal me when you're healthy. I don't understand how that works. So somebody with a big beard, please call me up, 754-280-5656. Teach me what that means. A doctor has to heal you when you're healthy. That I don't understand. But anyway, I'm talking about, you all know what I'm talking about. Today's generation. Everybody's talking about. Listen to the doctors. Chas v'shalom. So now we said what? We said that we are. What was I? Before I got lost. Before I got distracted by this whole doctor business.
Chazon Ish.
Yeah, right. So Chazon Ish. Very good. Thank you. I get so angry. See, when you get angry, you lose Torah. You forget Torah. I get so angry because a lot of people are being killed, unfortunately. People don't understand it by these doctors who are supposed to protect you. Anyway, so Chazon Ish never went to college. What happened? So thank you, Rabbi Yaron. So this doctor says, I'm not doing your surgery. You're going to die from it. I know I did brain aneurysm, but your situation is intricate. It's too difficult. So he said, Chazon Ish says, let me see the X-ray, right? He saw the X-ray. If they showed him his X-ray, he says, this is your problem? Wait. Chazon Ish took him half hour. He took a pen, sat in the doctor's office. In a half hour, he drew a map how to perform his own brain surgery. And everything. He mamash drew a whole map, and he told the surgeon, this is where you're going to insert, this is the incision, this is where you cut, this and this and that. And intricacies, he says, when you do this, don't worry, you'll be good. And the surgeon looked at it, he was in shock. Rabbi, which college you went to? No college. Why did you know this? Masechta Cholin. He opened up the Masechta Cholin, you have a brain surgery. And the doctor performed the surgery, kissed the rabbi's hand after that. Right? The doctor even didn't charge. They didn't do a fundraiser like today. You have every little, let's do a fundraiser. The doctor did not, the doctor didn't charge the Chazon Ish at all and paid for all the expenses. He paid for his hospital stay, everything, because he was surprised that this is what Torah is. Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael Chai. Kula. The Torah is everything. You don't need college to go to get understanding. It's all in the Torah. So 74. Now, Chas v'shalom, ve'over alea ve'achal kazayit min hatrifa. A person went ahead. The witnesses told him, "Don't eat," and he didn't care, and he went ahead and ate from the trefa. 27 grams. See, that's the machloket. The rabbi said just today, 54 grams times 4. We learn in the yeshiva, it's 28 grams. Right, so it's 56.
Because the original 56, measure is volume.
So yesterday when I said it's 200, roughly 230, it's 56 times 4. It still gets you 224. So I said 230. But it's a regular machloket among people who learn Torah. Anyway, so if somebody ate, let's say, 20, according to Rabbi Button, it's 27 grams of trefa. According to my Rebbe, it's 28 grams. So there's a difference. You see what's going on here? That's what we do all day. We just argue. That's what we do all day. All right, anyway. So now somebody ate it. What do you do with him? What do you do with him? You give him lashes. You give him 29 lashes. I'm not allowed. Okay, mitzvah number 74. שלא לשמוע טענת בעל דין שלא בפני הבעל הדין. So now two people are arguing. This is very common. The judges are not allowed to listen to one while the other one is not present. So what's going on? Where do we have that? We have this every day. Believe it or not. We have it between our wives and our children. My wife says one thing, my children say something else. What's going on? Right? Oh, now we have a machloket. The wife says one thing, the child says one thing. And now who you believe? Who are you going to punish? You don't know. Huh? I don't know. If you're allowed to, what, just because she's your wife, or just because you're your half doesn't lie to the other half? Come on. Sometimes you do that. The wife, you know what they say. What happened to Hannah? What was the Hannah and Rachel? What did they say? The problem with the wife, the worst problem the wife has when she has no children. What's the problem? The Gemara says over there, that every problem, once she has a child, she has somebody to blame. No. What? Right, Rabbi Moshe? Says the best thing about a wife with children, she has somebody to complain. She says, anything happens, the child. What are you going to do to the child? The child broke the dishes. The child does this. The child does that. Oh, right, so that's the machloket. So, okay, shelo yishma hadayan ta'anat ha'echad shelo b'fnei ba'al dino. The halacha is that it's a sur, 74, the oraita, that you're listening one litigant over the other. It says over there in Shemot, 23rd chapter, first pasuk, Lo tisa Hashem hashav. What does that mean? Lo tisa Hashem hashav. V'hatam lifi shebnei adam yidabru divrei shav shelo b'fnei ba'al dinam. As we know, why can't you listen to one litigant over the other while the other one is not here? Because most people, when they don't have the other litigant, will make up stuff. They'll add anchovy and gravy, and they'll make they make it more spicy. Nobody's arguing. Nobody refutes him, right? As there was a big machloket in the Gemara between Rav Yoshua and Rabban Gamliel. Do you daven arvit b'chova or not? Right? So, do you obligated to daven arvit as a din, or it's not a din? So Rabbi Yeshua says not a din. It's if you want you daven, if not.
Is it voluntarily?
Yeah, obligatory. So Rabban Gamliel said it is obligatory. So then there was one student, and his name is a very chashuv student, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wanted to stir problems. Because he saw, that says over there, that he saw Ruach Kodsho that Rabban Gamliel has to die. Okay, Rabban Gamliel had to die because there's a new leader in town, and we know that there's a new king. When the new king comes, the old king has to die. They cannot be mixed together at the same time. Who's that new king? Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah. Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah was supposed to be in Rosh Yeshiva, right? He was a very young boy yet, but still Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel saw that he's going to die. Rabban Gamliel has to die. So all the option he had to do, he had one option to get rid of Rabban Gamliel from his post. If he takes him off of his post, it's like he's dead. Okay, and that's what happened. He stirred up the whole fight just to make sure the rabbi is going to throw Rabban Gamliel away. And then they appointed Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah, and this way Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai saved his life. But anyway, it says over there. So when he stirred up the problem, how did he stir up the problem? He asked the question Rabbi Yeshua, and Rabbi Yeshua says, "No, arvit not chova." Then he went to Rabban Gamliel. He says, Aravit Hawaii, not Rabban Gamliel, was the Rosh Yeshiva. He was the Nasi. He was the leader of Am Yisrael. He says, of course it's a Chova. Yeah? But then he says, so how come you're one of the rabbis in the yeshiva, one of the mashgiach of the yeshiva, your yeshiva says not? He says, what? Who says that? Rabbi Yeshua. Okay. So you know what he's saying? Okay, you sit down. We're gonna make the judgment. So at night when they gather together at 7:45, by the way, in Yeshiva Shalom Bayit over here, 7:45 after, not after Arvit only. We learn 7:45 and then Arvit 8:30. 7:45, right? Now, so they started learning. So Rabban Gamliel asked the question. So anybody here thinks that it's not obligation to have an Arvit? Everybody's quiet. So Rabban Gamliel says, hey, you, Rabbi, Mashgiach, Rabbi Yeshua, somebody told me that you think it's not. Is that true? So he tells him these words. He says, I don't understand. I can't say anything. If this guy wasn't here, meaning Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was not here, I would tell you a lie. But he's here, I can't lie. He was going on. Right? That's that thing. The Hamim tell us that if a person, why would Rabbi Yeshua be allowed to lie? Now, how can he lie? For Shalom Bayit, you're allowed to lie. That's why Yeshivat Shalom Bayit. We learn here Shalom Bayit. You're allowed to lie for Shalom Bayit. Anyway, Mitzvah, Yishaker, okay, Yishaker LaShalom Bayit. You don't have to be all honest. Has Shalom when you have a fight with your wife. Okay, anyway, so Mitzvah Dayan al Zeh Kedei Shelo Yikanes Benafsho Kezaviv Shel Echad Mehem. Okay, so again, so same thing. The whole purpose of this, Rabbi, a few more minutes, we have 2 more minutes to finish. So over here, the full purpose of this mitzvah is not to be like that shakram. See, the person is, when the person tells you his side of the story, if the other person is not, the other party is not here to refute it, right away you will become actually the liar from the first story that you heard. So you will become a liar. And that's what you're supposed to prevent. We don't want that. We don't want you to join one side, and chas v'shalom, now you're going to be 2 people against one, and that is going to cause us a problem. Now, what's the mitzvah? What's this? The rule is, Lashon Hara is always believed. Lashon Hara is part of also sheker and the rules of lying, and is always believed. People love to believe it. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows our hearts, and He knows how we are designed. Therefore, the rule is, if you're in the aspect of judgment, if you're a judge in the midrash, you're a judge in the community, or you're a judge at home, be very careful when the cases are brought by your son, Rabbi Yonatan. Hopefully soon, B'ezrat Hashem, you're going to have that problem. If that problem, your wife's going to say it's the baby's fault. It's the baby's fault. And then the other baby's going to say it's the other baby's fault. It's going to be like this whole soon by you, B'ezrat Hashem. A lot. Plenty. You should have plenty of it. B'ezrat Hashem. But you should know how to treat it. I have a rule. I never punish a child until I see that, let's say, he hit me. You know the rule. If I don't see the hitting, I don't give a patch. It's a mitzvah to patch. Don't listen to those PC guys. Give him a patch. Until 12, 13, until 12, you're the Eitzer Tov. You have to give him a patch. But you can't give a patch until you have certain rules. You have to never do it when you're angry. Never do it because another child said so. After 12 and 13, it's a sort of it. Yes. And this mitzvah, if somebody judges, it's like it's transgressing. He doesn't get malkut because it's maaseh and b'maaseh. There is no action. Aval en lokin al lavzeh lefi she'en b'maaseh. And B'ezrat Hashem, have a wonderful day. Enjoy it without a matzlacha. Make a lot of money without a headache. No, right now we're going to do halakha. Mishnah Brura. We're still learning another 20 minutes.